Hello, this is Godzilla A51. Before the review begins, there was a passing a couple of days ago. Mr. Keith Emerson, who did the music for Godzilla Final Wars. He was a very talented keyboardist, and he contributed a lot for this film, giving a brand new sound and still kind of keeping it in touch with the old while bringing in the new with the sillier stuff. But he did great for this film. He was also very talented in other works that he did. I'd be remiss if I did not bring up Mr. Emerson before going into this review. Okay. I would like to have just a moment before we begin, and there's a little something for Mr. Emerson. Welcome. This is Godzilla A51 here with the final film of the TOHO franchise for Godzilla. That doesn't count. It comes out later this year, okay? For the longest time, this was the last Godzilla film. Okay? And it has had a bit of an impact, both negative and positive, for Godzilla fans. Where do I stand on this? Well, as I said in the last review, I believe that was the end of the Millennium series. I believe that this film is a complete walk-off to its own thing. Enough of that. Let's get into the film. This is Godzilla Final Wars. So our film begins with kind of a opening stamp, not only from TOHO, but of Godzilla from 1954, in this really cool, like drawn picture, and they're playing the music from King Kong vs. Godzilla. Suddenly, we are transported to the South Pole, as it sounds like we hear angels beginning to, and we start hearing this new music play for Godzilla as tanks fire at our King of the Monsters, but he's in silhouette. The flashes of light are behind him, but we get to see the outline of the new King of the Monsters. Suddenly a light shows, and we see our King of the Monsters, Godzilla, in this film. And he looks awesome. Favorite designs. I need to make like a top 10 my favorite Godzilla designs. He's up there. Godzilla from this film, Final Wars, looks awesome. As Godzilla is battling this new machine known as the Gotengo. Massive inspiration from the film Atragon. Godzilla is unstoppable. They are able to get Godzilla to the South Pole to, stop all the destruction throughout the world. As the weapons aren't doing anything, but then there starts to be an earthquake, avalanche, whatever. Godzilla begins to fall into this massive hole. As a plucky young pilot reaches over to the missile launcher, yells in purpose, fires the missiles at one of the nearby mountains, causing a larger avalanche and burying Godzilla. As triumphant music starts to play, you see that Godzilla is buried under ice. Trapped under ice, if you will. As we get this voiceover of how the world is tired of fighting with itself, and how monsters have come and gone, and with this new group that they've created called the Earth Defense Force, EDF for short. I wish it was them. No. Apparently, they found this base in humanity known as M-Base, or they created it or something, and they've created mutants out of these people. Heightened speed, heightened strength. Hey, Milo. Just heighten anything and everything you can think of for a human being. Pretty much, they're their own personal team of X-Men. They all don't have special powers like adamantium claws or optic beams. They all can just extremely agile and extremely hard to kill. As our film cuts back to live action, and after a kind of remix of Godzilla's theme song, we cut to Deep Undersea, where we meet one of our main characters of the film, Captain Gordon. This guy is awesome, okay? He's piloting the Gotengo, and they are battling a new kaiju. Well, new is relative for this franchise, but take a look. Manda. Looking like he did in the film Atragon. They're battling deep undersea, and Manda is very powerful underwater. However, Captain Gordon doesn't want to give up. They see a erupting volcano underwater, so they go over to it. Temperature's starting to rise, things are starting to go bad, but Amanda lets go and swims off. As Gotengo comes about, turns 180 degrees, and fires a freeze ray at Manda. Or Manda, sorry. Freezing Manda. Well, what's a little freezing gonna do? Yeah, you saw that right. They kill Manda. Okay. Captain Gordon is chewed out by getting the Gotengo almost destroyed. They go back to base. Captain Gordon is arrested. And then we cut to this fight sequence where two of our mutant characters of the film, Ozaki and Kazama. These two are battling in a cage. I've seen this in other sports. It's called the Lion's Den, and the two of them are fighting for some reason. And it ends with Ozaki refusing to defeat Kazama, but Kazama defeating Ozaki, so Ozaki has to be a bodyguard for a scientist. And he at first doesn't want to do it because, they're all stuffy and eggheads and yeah. And then we actually see Dr. Otanashi. Yeah, I'd be her bodyguard. I'd even sing the Whitney Houston song, even though I can't sing to save my life, but hey. He's made fun of for it, but hey, he gets to hang out and just bodyguard this beautiful young lady. So, what is she a doctor of? Or a professor of? Archaeology. And she needs to go to this site where they found a kaiju. What kaiju did they find, and why did they find it? Well, why isn't really explained, but what is it? Take a look. A mummified Gigan. That's right. We haven't seen Gigan since 1972? Pretty sure it's 1972. I'm terrible with years when it comes to show series. But anyway, as they start saying that, oh, we found M-Base in Gigan. Look at your distant relative, Ozaki. And as these two have to interject. Yeah, the Shobijin. Okay, really? Why are they in this? I understand this is the final film for, you know, the Godzilla franchise, but come on. Why did they have to cram her into it? And at this part, of course, Mothra and the Shobijin know what Gigan is. Apparently they battled him thousands of years ago. Of course, Mothra defeated Gigan thousands of years ago. And we begin to see a problem with this film. The sets. The cave set that they used for this scene is just not really good. And you can see everyone else, you can see all the tailor-made outfits, all the fight outfits they have, and all the locations they have. There's no reason why they couldn't film this in a real cave. So, the Shobijin give Kazama this little amulet thing, say, you'll know what to do with this later. Okay. Oh. Sorry guys, Buddy needs, little Milo needs some loving. Hi honey. Hi honey. So, some time goes by, and other kaiju begin attacking the Earth. In New York City, this guy returns. Yes, Rodan. After listening to a cop and a stereotypical pimp argue over a parking thing, I really hope that's not what the rest of the world thinks that Americans are like. Rodan returns. We hear some very odd stock sound effects and, you know, explosions. Cut to Shanghai, and this guy returns. Yes, Anguirus. And I'm sorry, he looks awful in this movie. Okay? Rodan, I can kind of see what they're going for. They're trying to blend a little bit of the Showa with the Heisei. Nice. Anguirus, I can understand they wanted to go for something completely different with him, because they haven't used him since the 70s. But, you know, here's a picture of him from the Showa series. Now, here's a picture from this film, Final Wars. Watching the film, you can see how Anguirus just looks odd in this film. And not only that, he actually can turn into a ball now and roll around and slam into things. Cut to another place, and this guy returns. Yes, King Caesar has returned. And I'm sorry, there's something wrong with the face, you know, and here's a picture from the Showa series. Here's a picture of him from this film. I'm sorry, it's the eyes. It's those goofy eyes. It's like he's staring into your soul or something. cut to Paris, and this guy returns. Kamacuras, or Kamacuras, or however it's pronounced. I call it Kamacuras. Getting a new paint job. It's actually green instead of red. I like this look for Kamacuras. You'll see later in the review, I'll show you different cool things that they did for him, and you'll see it later in the film if you're watching. Then we cut to New Mexico, and we see this. Yes, Kumanga. Another awesome kaiju not used since the 60s is now in this film, and they butchered Kumanga in this film. See, Kumanga was this great puppet back then. Still a puppet in this film. However, everything seems to move at the same moment, even though it was more of a long-legged tarantula spider in like Son of Godzilla and Godzilla's Revenge. All moving parts, all different things, just very complicated looking. In this, they made it like a leaping spider. All of its legs curl under, and there's just something about the paint job in the face. It doesn't have any hair. It just doesn't look good. I like the Showa version of Kumanga so much better. Then something hilarious happens. We cut to Sydney, Australia, and we see this guy. That's right. Zilla is now a part of the TOHO canon. And he's eating fish, chasing some Australian guys around, just running amok. But then all the kaiju begin to start disappearing. All except for this one. Ibra has returned and is on land. And he has a prolonged fight with our mutants from the Earth Defense Force. And I feel like I'm watching an episode of Power Rangers. Okay? Yeah, I watched Power Rangers when I was younger, okay? These guys all have these laser weapons. You know, the regular EDF guys, they have machine guns, where these mutants have laser guns. Now they just equip everybody with laser guns. They deal with it. And not only that, there's more than one Gotengo around the world. There's a bunch of these flying, massive ships. Alright, Gotengo just seems to be the best one. But anyway, they just whomp Ibra. And then Ibra gets recalled, as well as the other kaiju. And then we get our aliens for the movie. The Zillions. And they arrive in this thing. Yes, this massive Fabergé egg with toenails. And they have the Secretary of Defense with them. Because apparently earlier in the film, the Secretary of Defense was traveling, and Rodan destroyed his plane. But he said that the aliens saved him before he died. So he's trying to talk the world into accepting the Zillions as part of the, United Space Race, or Space Federation, or the Space Federation. This seems nice. However, Dr. Otonashi's sister is a reporter, and she's looking over the footage of the meeting where the Secretary of Defense is, and he's not blinking at all. So Ozaki goes to his superiors, and he starts, bringing up these ideas. He realizes that they're not blinking either. The invasion of the body snatchers moment here, because they feel that no one can be trusted. As the reporter is looking for information, she's confronted by one of the non-blinking people, and Kazama goes and he gets the one guy that he believes will not be assimilated and will be on their side. Yes, he goes and gets Captain Gordon. And they kill this replicant, I guess. This person that's not what it seems to be. It's an alien. This fish-faced alien. So they go to this council, and they show this alien off, and they shoot the Secretary of Defense. The face peels open, and showing that the Secretary of Defense has been an alien this whole time. The main Zillion is trying to say, now hold on, we got something to say, when his second in command shoots him in the head and says, I'm in control now, and you people are going to serve us. As the rest of the mutants come into the room to defend, this new leader begins to ham it up, and he takes all of the mutants and puts them under his control. And they all begin battling with one of their trainers, who, from what I understand, is a human in this film, but he's able to beat up 20 of these mutants at the same time. As Captain Gordon and Kazama take the Otanashi sisters, and they escape the area. However, Kazama is chasing after them, and we get a thrilling motorcycle fight sequence. Yeah, a motorcycle fight in a Godzilla film. Okay. Our heroes are able to escape after Ozaki knocks out Kazama with his motorcycle. They take them and they all go to the Gotengo. As our new Zillion boss, I'm just going to call him the boss, starts releasing all the monsters back onto Earth, and they all begin attacking all over without any control or any mercy, and they begin destroying city after city. Thousands of people are being killed. All the other EDF ships are being destroyed. The Statue of Liberty is destroyed. Everything is being destroyed. When they're trying to figure out a plan on how to deal with these, aliens, Captain Gordon says the most beautiful thing. He says, we're going to the South Pole to get the ultimate weapon. We're going to wake up Godzilla. And we're going to use Godzilla to destroy the aliens. And they say to, Captain Gordon, well, what are you going to do after he destroys the aliens? You going to bring him back to the South Pole and lock him up again? And as they are going towards the South Pole, the aliens wake up Gigan. And Gigan continues to destroy as he goes after the Gotengo near the South Pole. As they go to the South Pole, it is revealed that Captain Gordon was that plucky young soldier at the beginning of the film on the Gotengo that fired the missiles and buried Godzilla. So it's only fitting that he goes and he wakes up Godzilla, but he gets knocked aside and someone else fires the missiles, waking up our King of the Monsters finally, and it's glorious. Godzilla and Gigan begin battling. And you think this would be a great fight, but Godzilla kills Gigan with one shot of his atomic breath, blasting the head off of Gigan. Yeah. And Godzilla begins chasing after the Gotengo, but the Gotengo is leading Godzilla to other cities around the world. First stop is Sydney, Australia, where Godzilla battles Zilla. And this fight is awesome, all 30 seconds of it, because that's all it takes Godzilla to kill Zilla, and it is wonderful. Godzilla continues moving towards Japan as he battles Kumanga. And this is a very disappointing fight. First off, some of the sets in this film, especially the South Pole set and the Sydney set, seem to have this grand scale to it. But when you see this set of where Godzilla battles Kumanga, everything seems very small. There's no scale or any mass scale to this film. At least this scene, and several others, we'll get into those later. As Kumanga is leaping around like a leaping spider, that makes no sense. And he starts using his trademark webbing. It doesn't come out like webbing, it comes out as a big yellow net. And it comes up and spreads in the air and lands on Godzilla. This means nothing because one time he decides to do it, Godzilla catches it, swings Kumanga around, all rodeo style, and throws Kumanga. Bye-bye, Kumanga. Thanks for coming. Kumanga is dead. Godzilla continues north, and he battles Kamacuras. Kamacuras showing off some new abilities, being able to fly a lot faster and go invisible. This is nothing to the King of the Monsters, as he grabs Kamacuras and impales him on a light pole, or electrical tower, or whatever. Kamacuras is dead. Okay. Godzilla then battles King Caesar, Anguirus, and Rodan all together. Now this sounds awesome, and in a way it is. But they also do some really dumb things in this as well. Pretty much Godzilla's showing the ability to run and jump in this movie. Running isn't the problem. To leap in the air, that's stretching it. Okay? Especially in Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, that was really silly. To see it in this, it's even sillier. Godzilla taking out the three monsters after this weird soccer segment where they're knocking Anguirus back and forth. King Caesar apparently was trained by Jackie Chan how to run up walls and do like these spinning back kicks in midair. It's just weird. Godzilla is able to defeat all three monsters though, with this awesome image of Mount Fuji behind him. One monster that I didn't bring up earlier, and I wish was not in this film, this little guy. Yes, Minya, or Manila, or Milla is in this film. And he's kind of the conscience of the film as it comes to Godzilla. And he shows that he can grow, just like in Godzilla's Revenge. I guess this movie's a love letter to the Showa series, but, it just... Mania just feels very odd and out of place in this. So finally, the Gotengo is able to lure Godzilla to Japan. Not Japan, but to Tokyo, where the Exilian's ship is. But before that, Godzilla kills Hedra and Ibra at the same time. Did you know Hedra was in this film? Apparently, he was supposed to have a bigger part in this. Here's a making of picture. But Godzilla just takes him out in a matter of seconds. As Godzilla comes to the city, the Gotengo begins battling with the egg-shaped thing. And they try firing their maser cannon at it. It has a shield, just like the aliens in Independence Day. So we have an injured Kazama. He gets inside of a dropship, and he flies up to the Zillion spacecraft, and he enters it. Now, a lot of people have said that this is just like A New Hope, Star Wars, as Luke Skywalker was doing the trench run on the first Death Star. I have to disagree. This is more like Return of the Jedi, when they're doing the entire fly through the Death Star and blow up the shield reactor. Because that's what they did in this. They fly through and they take down the shields. Gotengo breaks into the alien ship and begins trying to attack, but they're immediately captured and brought to the main bridge so the Zillion boss can exposit. And he exposits a lot. This scene just keeps going and oh, hi, honey. Just keeps on going. I know. Okay. Apparently, Kazama is dead. Ozaki apparently is this thing called a Kaiser. A mutant hybrid that cannot be controlled by the boss of the Zillions through mental power, but he starts to use this electricity on Kazama. Wow, why do I keep saying Kazama? Ozaki. Keeps using this electrical power on Ozaki, kind of like the Emperor did to Luke Skywalker, and makes him turn to the dark side. Captain Gordon's trying to fight him off, but then Dr. Otanashi, she still has this amulet from earlier. She stabs Kazama. I just did it again. She stabs Ozaki. Wow, why do I keep getting those? She stabs Ozaki. He breaks out of it, though. But now he has all these new powers unlocked in his mind. Alright, baby, you get down. As Captain Gordon and our remaining Gotengo crew, and some of our surviving human crew from earlier as well, are all going back to the Gotengo, as Zaki and the Zillion boss, well, one of them, has spiky hair, a lot more ridiculous than my hair. They get into a fist fight as this meteor falls to Earth and crashes on Godzilla, and revealing this guy. Yes, Monster X. New monster for this film, and Godzilla and Monster X are battling, but obviously we're not interested in that because we keep going back to Ozaki and the Zillion boss. This fight just keeps going and going and going. One point, Ozaki actually starts glowing gold, and he, like a Super Saiyan, and they're fighting. So Gigan comes back. This time with chainsaws on his arms. And he goes to battle Godzilla as Mothra decides to join the battle. Okay, I'm not entirely mad that Mothra's in this film. This was originally supposed to be the last Godzilla film in the TOHO series, and they didn't have any more plans with Mothra, so why not put her in this film? It's the same Mothra puppet from Tokyo SOS, but that was a great looking Mothra, so okay. As we have a four-way battle, Godzilla continues to battle Monster X as Gigan and Mothra kill each other. Ozaki getting the upper hand on the Zillion leader. Our heroes getting aboard the Gotengo and escaping as the Zillion ship explodes. However, in the fire, Godzilla and Monster X continue to battle, as Monster X begins to act a little weird, and Monster X transforms into this. Kaiser Ghidorah. And this thing is huge, at least 3 times the size of Godzilla. And Godzilla has been battling for about, give or take, 3 days. Between walking and swimming from the South Pole all the way back to Japan, it took him probably at least 3 days. And he's been using atomic breath, using up all of his energy, plus battling with Monster X and Gigan in the city. He's spent, as Kaiser Ghidorah is fresh as a daisy, beating up Godzilla, using his abilities kind of like Space Godzilla, lifting up Godzilla with his gravity beams and slamming him back to the ground, just like in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Kaiser Ghidorah begins feeding on Godzilla, drawing in his energy. As the Gotengo feels bad for Godzilla, they are able to do this thing with these discs and fire nuclear energy into Godzilla, supercharging him. Godzilla is able to break free of Kaiser Ghidorah, destroy the middle head and I think the right head. He then lifts Kaiser Ghidorah and begins slamming this massive being around like it's a sack of potatoes. He then picks up Kaiser Ghidorah and tosses him into space, revealing some uranium fire, destroying Kaiser Ghidorah. And then he turns and sees Gotengo, knocks Gotengo out of the sky, and he goes over to finish off Gotengo because Godzilla, he's an anti-hero in this film. An awesome anti-hero. And he goes to finish off the fight he started years ago as Minya comes out of nowhere. He puts his arms up like this. He's like, "No, Dad, don't do it." Godzilla's like, "Yeah, okay, fine, whatever." As he leaves, Minya breathes fire for the first time on his own, and the two of them go out to sea. Godzilla turning one last time with the rising sun behind him and roars in victory as he brings an end to this film, Godzilla Final Wars. A lot of this film, I'm sitting there saying, where's Godzilla? Please bring back Godzilla. This makes no sense. Where's Godzilla? And I was very justified in doing that because he is gone for a great chunk of the film, and we begin following these mutant EDF characters. If I was paying to see X-Men, or if I was paying to see, another superhero film, pretty soon Batman v Superman's coming out soon, okay? I wouldn't expect Godzilla or Gamera or Ultraman or, a kaiju to show up in a superhero movie, or better yet, a Matrix movie, because that's what they used a lot of scenes in this movie, with Ozaki. And I just thought the movie called Godzilla Final Wars would, show off a little more of Godzilla. This film kind of pays tribute to the Showa series a lot, and this film kind of feels like Destroy All Monsters at a bunch of points. However, it kind of drops the ball really badly. Alright, so, human characters. I like our main cast. As far as some of them being mutants and running on walls, that doesn't add anything for me. I thought that actually took away from the film. Yeah, it was fun for a new generation, but, I heard a lot of people didn't like that whole entire idea, and this film actually got a couple of markings on it because of that. But as far as the acting for our human characters, I enjoyed it. My favorite character, of course, is Captain Gordon, and just awesome guy. Gave him this awesome katana in the film. Awesome stuff. Godzilla in this film. Looks amazing. Blending the Showa series along with the Heisei series, a pinch of the Millennium series, mixing those all together and giving us the Godzilla that they did in this film. He looks awesome. Gigan looks awesome. The makeover they did for Gigan was just awesome. I feel that he was a little underutilized in this film, but still, the impact he had in this film was awesome. Monster X, I like the design, but then as soon as he starts running and jumping and doing a bunch of martial arts of his own, that's where he started to lose with me. When he transformed into Kaiser Ghidorah, that's when it got awesome. The other monsters in this film. Rodan is okay. Manda, I thought looked awesome. Anguirus needed work. King Caesar needed a lot of work. Kumanga, they should have just left out of this film because I don't think they knew what they were doing with Kumanga. Yes, they had to update it because they hadn't used it since the 60s, but I feel they updated it in the wrong. It's my own opinion. I'm not trying to profess to say that I'm the knower of all with this, but I feel that they messed up with Kumanga. Kamacuras, awesome. Minya, they should have just cut that all from that. His entire arc in the film, being discovered by this little boy and his grandfather, and them kind of traveling across Japan following Godzilla, it didn't really add anything to this film. And also, I just feel that his suit could have been money used for something else better in the film. Set design goes from great to sloppy all in the same film, sometimes within minutes of each other. I think this film went into costume design the most, and not set design. Look at these fancy clothes everyone's wearing in this film. I don't think this film really needed to be as artistic or fancy as it was. They could have gone with, our normal military fatigues. Everyone could have been normal in this film. Maybe with some laser guns. But as far as the whole running around, the Power Rangers, explosions all the time, it just felt overly done. And all these explosions, it had nothing to do with the monsters either. Just go back and watch the fight sequence with Ibra. Okay, yeah, I know I just said nothing to do with the monsters. It kind of doesn't. There's explosions going around. Ibra is nowhere near them. And then as they're running up and down on Ibra and blasting pieces off him, it just feels too much. Is it different? Yes. Is it enjoyable? Well, I can't say that I dislike this film. It's just not what I expected. And, I guess it's grade time. Godzilla Final Wars. As a movie and a sitting experience for the first time watcher, I give this film a B. However, as a longtime viewer of the Godzilla films, and seeing this as they originally said this was going to be the last Godzilla film, we'll get into those next time. Okay, we'll get into those. Not the 2016 one. That one's not due out for a while. But as the end of the Godzilla franchise, I give this film a C. The best part about this film is Godzilla and Captain Gordon. The Gotengo was cool. However, just I don't feel it brought that much to the table. This film is okay. Well, that was a mouthful. Hope you guys are still with me. Hope I didn't make anybody angry. Remember, this is just an opinion. I'm not knocking this. I'm not intentionally knocking this film. There are enjoyable parts of this film. If you enjoyed this film, good. There are parts I enjoy as well. I just don't feel that it was as much as it should have been or could have been. Maybe if they took a little time and brought up a little extra money, they could have made some of the monsters look a little better. They could have filmed on site rather than building cheap sets for things. But, it came out in 2004, like less than a year after Tokyo SOS. they probably should have taken a little while. They had this come out in 2005 or something. Maybe they guess they wanted to move on from Godzilla, but, you know, I feel they should have waited a little longer. Okay, well, this is Gojira 851 saying goodnight. See y'all with our next Godzilla film. A legendary Godzilla film.